Hello, welcome to my channel. Today I am inspired by Nicole Relax.cut.glue to work on some altered dominoes. So these are dominoes that I got from the Dollartree, as Nicole showed. And while I was at the Domino store, while I was at the Dollar Tree, I noticed this puzzle, the superhero puzzle, and I thought that might be cool on the jelly plate. So I actually glued the pieces down first before using it on the jelly plate so the pieces would stay with the puzzle. So I took the dominoes and I thought I'd make more like a screen that you could stand up. I used painter's tape to tape them together to make it easier to press them down into the jelly plate. And here I'm just showing how I make the spacing so that you can actually close it. But later I won't really be closing some of them because of the 3D elements I'll be adding. But this was a convenient way to use them on the jelly plate. Instead of placing one at a time, I could just place the whole strip down. And I did sand them lightly because I wasn't sure how well the paint would stick. And I was also inspired by these puzzles that I found at the Dollar Tree. One was just some paint chips which gave solid colors, and this other one was like a quilty type thing that had lots of different pieces, and I thought this would be inspiring for a lot of pieces in the future. You can just see so many little pieces of art there. And so now that that metallic dark gray has dried, I'm just adding different colors, and I thought I would do sort of 3 different themes of colors to do the 3 different little domino books. So one's a pink and purple, one's a blue and teal, and one is a red and yellow. And then I just stick those down, press, press, press. I cut out a lot of that time. And even though I waited a long time, some of the paint didn't quite, not as much of the puzzle image went on the domino pieces as I wanted. So I thought I'll try to pick up a little bit more using some golden matte medium, which is just basically like clear acrylic. I should also mention that these dominoes are on real wood, just thin little pieces of wood. So some of them were a little bit warped to start. I tried to pick the ones that were the least warped. And here I'm pulling these off. It didn't pick up all of the puzzle image, but a little bit more. And I've got all 3 little sets off, and I want to add a bit more of that puzzle texture print back. So I'm using black paint this time and pressing that down so that it picks up more of the paint from the puzzle, and you get more of those lines from in between the puzzle pieces. And I put down 2 of the colors. I saved the pink one for to use with white paint later. And here you can see it did add a bit more interest. And I just had a little extra piece there. So I'm using the white now to add those puzzle lines onto the pink domino set. And I pick it up quickly so the paint's still wet, obviously. And then this way I'm able to actually get 2 pulls from this one section. I like that. I think that's kind of cool. So now I'm going to just add some embellishments to it. And this is a paper pack I had picked up inspired by Colleen the Scrap Chick and Kathy Berg. And it has lots of cool little painterly images. She had the 12 by 12. I couldn't find that. I ended up with the smaller pack, which worked good. The size worked good for these little tiny dominoes. So I found a quote, and I'm just trimming it, altering this little tag. That little key, I think, was from a dollar store like a long time ago. It might have been from Michael's. And that little flower was actually a ribbon that I got at the dollar store that I had used on the jelly plate before. I'm going to paint it a bit more. So here I'm taking one of my puzzle pieces, and I'm just roughing it up a bit with a nail file. And for some reason I decided to use a different piece, but I don't know why. And I'm painting that little hummingbird is also a little wood chip piece from the dollar store. And this flower, I decided that I wanted to make it more of a green and white to go with the theme. And adding a little bit of ink to the 3D elements and also to the edges of the paper. So the 2 colors of ink I used of Distress Ink by Ranger were Peacock Feathers and Walnut Stain. just to finish off those edges. And then I'm going to attach that tag using some wire. It's very easy to bend. It's not a large gauge wire, and I got that years ago at the dollar store. Surprise, surprise. And here I just thread it through the hole of the tag, and then I just wrap it around the puzzle piece. Sorry, my fingers are so messy, but messy is fun. Messy art's fun. And then I just arrange it onto the, just sort of placing the wire where I think I want it to go. But before I glue down these elements, I want to attach these dominoes together. And I want to make like a little screen, like a folding screen you saw in the first image. So it's not really a book that closes, it's more of a folding screen that sits up on your shelf. And I decided to paint the back of these black, and then I add some blue to the edges. And I also add a bit of blue acrylic paint to make the back look a little bit more distressed. Although no one's really gonna see the back, but I just think it's kind of fun. So there I'm just adding some random paint, and I couldn't remember how I had them attached, so I was referring to one that was still attached with some tape. And then I decide to, so I got them mixed up, so I was trying to remember what order, you know, I had them in and where I had put the elements. So I used some of the painter's tape to reattach them so that I can make sure that it will still stand up. So just some fiddling so that it, if I want to fold it, I can, and also that it stands up straight. All the pieces touch the ground. You could, you know, Nicole also made some books with, she used paper to attach two dominoes into like a little book. I really, you know, check out her videos. I'm going to link her below. And here I just use some fabric glue to attach the ribbon. And this is ribbon I got, guess where? Actually, no, I got this at Michael's in the clearance section. And I'm just wiping out a little of that extra fabric glue because I had put the glue all the way across the ribbon. When I do the next ones, I don't do it all the way across. I just do it where it's going to be attached to the domino, so I don't have to wipe out so much glue. And you have to let this glue dry for at least 2 to 4 hours before doing too much with it. I do go ahead and turn it over and start gluing on the elements on the front. I just don't try to stand it up right away. I let that fabric glue do its thing. So I'm just gluing everything down here with some Aleene's tacky glue, and I am just removing any excess glue. Although it would dry clear, so it wouldn't really matter, but I didn't want any little blobs on there. I really like the little puzzle piece on there. It's just fun. And then I glued down just the edge of the tag so that it sits up a bit. And I decide that flower is a bit boring because it's very similar in color, so I add a little bit of bling to the middle. Nothing too shiny. And then I remove the tape and I will set that aside. I'm just testing it, and then I set it aside and let it dry. So here's the red set, and I've got my pieces picked out and my little puzzle piece there. And I'm using the painter's tape to set up the screen. This one I fold the opposite way, so the middle sections fold in together. And I keep the 3D elements on the end pieces so that I could fold it. And here I did use paper on the back, just using a glue stick and then sandpaper to file the edges like Nicole at NicoleRelax.cut.glue did. And here I'm gluing the this ribbon. I use the same one because I like the sort of neutral pattern. I guess it's not really a ribbon, it's more of a fabric trim. So I'm gluing that down, making sure the pieces are nice and straight. This one I made the mistake of gluing my elements on first. Really it works better if you don't, so that it lies flat. And here I'm covering it with some wax paper and put a book on it to let it dry. I'm going to post pictures of these on my Instagram if you want a closer look. And I did the pink one, I did a sort of a flamingo theme inspired by the Dollar Tree stickers I found. And I used a stamp set with some white embossing powder to make the clouds and the wording. And I thought it was cute to have the shorter flamingo standing on the puzzle piece. And the back put polka dot ribbon and some washi tape and some white paint. Here's the green one, and I think it's very pretty. These were really fun to make. I think this last one's my favorite, just like how it came together. Thanks to Nicole.relax.cutglue for the inspiration. Thanks for watching.